Okay, guys, this is Doug Kenny from Relentless and Unstoppable calling Teddy Brown. Okay.
Hello.
Is this Teddy Brown?
How are you, sir?
I'm doing good. How are you doing?
Doing fabulous.
Yeah, are you enjoying your off season, I'll say?
Well, this is our busiest time, so you don't really get to enjoy anything except you get to leave at a reasonable hour.
Yeah.
So that's nice.
I see what you mean. What's the next gen car like so far? Good?
It's different. It's very different. The only thing you're really going to have team-wise to really have a say-so of what you can change is the brake pads and the rotors. The shocks are mandated by Olin's. The springs are iBox. The transmission gear drivetrain, if you want to call it, you have to buy from one supplier. So it's different.
I bet it is. Is it similar to the car of tomorrow or the others?
No, it's completely different. It's nothing like I've ever seen before. The fuel cell is way forward in it. They're real tough to get them in and out of the cars. It's difficult.
Oh man, I hope it works out for them.
Yeah, it too. So when will this be syndicated or aired or whatever you call it?
This is gonna air on YouTube if you're fine with it.
Yeah, that'll be fine.
Yeah, you're.
Now, what will show me? Since we're not doing it video wise, will it just have like a picture of me, or what's it gonna be?
It's gonna be run similar to a podcast, so it'll be mostly the audio, but with a picture of you. So yeah, just so people know who I'm talking to.
Do I need to send you a picture, or what do we need to do?
You can send me a picture if you need. Make sure it's one that you're fine with being posted, though.
Okay.
Yeah. So I start these with a question, which is, where are you originally from?
Madison Heights, Virginia. It's north of Lynchburg, Virginia.
Pretty cool. What was that upbringing like?
We played a lot of baseball. South Boston was our home track. Martinsville was close also because we're kind of triangle between Danville, Martinsville, Lynchburg. So racing and baseball was pretty much two things to do back home.
That sounds really cool. Did you ever go to Martinsville Cup races growing up?
Oh, yes. That's how I kind of got into the sport. My father was a huge baseball and NASCAR fan. The way my name originated was Ted is from Ted Williams, who played for the Red Sox. Lee was Richard Lee Petty. So I was destined to either play baseball or go racing. So I did both.
That is really cool. What made you get into motor racing if you have a good story about it?
Well, it's funny because my mom and dad and my uncles, we would go, they dragged me along at a young age. And watching Richard Petty, the Dale Earnhardt Sr., may rest in peace, battles. And I told my dad one day we were sitting down in Daytona for the 500, and I told him Richard Petty won that race with the president was flying out. And I said, I'll be in NASCAR. I'll be on one of those pit crews. He's like, I don't know. That's a lot of stuff, work there. I said, promise you, I'll be down there soon. Wasn't much longer, I was there.
Yep, and was he proud?
Oh, yes, yep, very proud. He passed away December 31st of 2019 from cancer, so he's sitting up there watching above and smiling.
Yeah, that's good to hear that he's watching you proudly, and I'm sure he is.
Yes.
So when did you make your first start as a crew chief?
I guess that would be back in 1998 with Michael Waltrip when we had the Band-Aid Ford. Patty Moise was driving the 14 car we had, and Ronnie Silver was looking after that one, and he asked me to come up with Crew Chief Michael because we were running a limited schedule with him, and then Patty was running all the races. So we went to Daytona. That was the first year of the Ford Taurus. It was very challenging. I took and made the bottom of the nose look like a Chevrolet because the Ford was aero challenged at the time. And we were actually the only Ford to make the Daytona 300 that year. Jeff Burton didn't make it. Mark Martin didn't make it. Patty Moisa, of course, didn't make it. But it was challenging. We finished third in that race.
That's really interesting. I never knew that Jeff Burton had some qualifying struggles back then.
He was in the 9 track gear car. And, of course, Mark Martin was in the big 60 Winn-Dixie. So, both of them went home. And I can't remember if we ended up putting Bobby Labonte in the car just because of his past champion provisional. But yeah, that was very tough that year for all the Fords.
I sure sounds like it. What was driving for Waltrip like, or working with him?
Oh, very fun. Michael is as fun on TV as he is behind the wheel. He gets animated, but he also gets hot under the collar because he's very, very serious about the racing when he's behind the wheel. But in and out of the car, he's as funny as he is on TV. Very entertaining.
That's good to hear. And it's really impressive that he went through some tough upbringings and all that, and he has a great sense of humor. That's very impressive.
Yeah, like a lot of these drivers, Darrell, of course, such an accomplished driver. Michael following in his footsteps. You got the Burtons, they both had great careers also. It's tough when you have to follow behind a Darrell Waltrip, who is such a champion and prestige NASCAR person in the sport,
Yeah, for sure. Did you work for BAM Racing at all at one point?
Yeah, I was there with Shauna, and we had Ron Hornaday also. I got another funny story. We went to Daytona with Shauna, very underfunded compared to a lot of the teams. Made the Daytona 500, sent the Ganassi cars home. That's when Chip was just getting into the sport. Had Jimmy Spencer driving the Target car, the 41. And they actually missed the race, and of course they tried to buy it out. And Beth Ann Morgenthau, the lady who owned BAM, that's where the BAM came from, told him, no, we're going to race. And she stood by her word. We had a good day with Shauna.
That's good to hear. I didn't know that Ganassi tried to buy your spot. I mean, I knew that happens in IndyCar with the Indy 500, but I didn't know it happened in NASCAR.
It happened a lot. It even happened when Darrell Waltrip missed the race. He went to Carl Long and bought his car. I think it was Charlotte that year when he done that.
Oh, yeah, that's really interesting. So, what was working with Hideo?
Fukuyama?
Fukuyama, yeah.
Hideo's a very talented driver. Unfortunately, just putting him into a Cup car was tough. The language barrier was tough. Hideo worked very hard to learn the English. We had a translator there, and funny because we had a spotter who was from Alabama. So here we have a Japanese driver who has a hard time with the English. You got a spotter from Alabama who has an Alabama accent, which we all know how they are. And so we're at Martinsville for the race, and any fans or anybody who's ever been to Martinsville knows that on the backstretch, that's right when they had just built their garages, you have the backstretch, and then there's a paved area between the garages and the backstretch wall. It's about 12 foot wide that they use for access to storing cars or whatever. Well, when we were during the race, and I told Hideo to pit, well, he went down that road in between the racetrack and the back of the garage.
Oh, no.
And people are diving out of the way. jumping up on the roof of the garages back there. And of course, NASCAR wasn't very happy, and they parked us for 6 laps. And, like the Days of Thunder thing, there's nothing you can do about it. So I told Hideo, I said, you want me to get you a Martinsville hot dog while we've got to sit here and wait for 6 laps?
That's a funny story.
What else are you going to do? You're already going, oh, my goodness. I'm going, where is he going? But I stay in touch with Hideo through Facebook and other messages, and he's doing well in Japan, and he's always a pleasure to be around.
That's good to hear. That was a worse penalty than what Earnhardt got when he got into it with Bodine, I believe.
Yeah, this is a self-inflicted one. So I said we might as well have a Martinsville hot dog while we're waiting.
Or ice cream like Days of Thunder.
Yeah. That's what I said. That's why I used that one. I'm like, they had to get ice cream. We'll just sit here and get a hot dog.
That's really funny, man.